Hey Hunter, how's it going? Welcome to your video lesson for uh, March 31st. Oh, I'm trying to get the... There we go. Wait, nope. That works. For March 31st, 2018. So, quick intro. Again, still trying to get these things downtime to like 15 minutes of actual video, because then that's worth an hour's worth of material to practice. So, trying to trim the fat, in my speeches. Basically, what I saw in our last lesson is, okay, like I think I rushed things, and probably just because of the lack of time we actually had face to face, I didn't know exactly what we should be working on. And I was probably just pouring out new things too fast. So what we're going to do is scale it back to some of the fundamentals we've been working on, and hopefully that'll just build up a nice solid base for us to learn some of these more advanced things on. So whatever you've learned out of these video lessons so far, this camera just does not want to stay. Whatever you've learned out of these video lessons so far, keep working on it. Totally good with that. No problem if you are like, hey, like, I really liked that, I understood that, I would like to keep swinging that. That is a-okay with me. I am gonna, for these lessons for now, until from like in-person lessons, I see like, okay, like he gets this, he's solid, he can play this really well. I will stick to some more fundamental stuff that we have worked on in the past and been working on recently. Because that way I have some set stuff, we have some set stuff that we want to see improve before we try to do anything crazy. I busted out the electric today for fun. So that's fun. So, first thing is I'm going to review a lot of stuff that we've done and make it a point for when we meet on the 14th. That basically I'm setting a line of like, get this stuff down by the 14th. And I'll be looking for us to try and have that down, or at least just improved upon. So first thing would be playing through the major scale. We worked on that a lot. Not with the fours warm-up pattern, not even that, just straight playing through. Just playing that solid. And so again, the tenets I stick to play the major scale correctly are remembering the shape over the actual notes and having each finger have its own box, fret, zone, rectangle, however you want to remember it. And so I separate my four fingers into their boxes, and then I just remember 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 3, 4. 4, 3, 1, 4, 2, 1, 4, 2. And that's your shape every time, because then when I move it up here, same fingers, and it's the same space apart. Now, the way that shape changes is obviously if you move up and down strings. For instance, if I decide to start the major scale from the 4th string, I'll have to compensate for the fact that the B string is tuned differently, so it would look like, and then up a fret, but still the same fingering. You don't have to memorize that, just know that when you're starting from the 5th fret or the 6th fret, it's always going to be the same shape. 5th and 6th fret root is going to make the major scale the same shape without any changes. When you start from the strings up here, you'll have to change things. And we'll be able to get into that later. And that all has to do with the fact that if you've tuned before your own guitar, you know that it's 5th fret, 5th fret, 5th fret, 4th fret, 5th fret. And so that plays into why chords are shaped the way they are, what fingerings you do for scales, yada yada. Next thing to make sure we have down is Blackbird. We're bringing it back to this song. It needs a tune a little bit. Next part. so there's thing number one. Thing number two, just major scale and Blackbird. Even that. Better than where it was. Much better than where it was. Okay, then the next thing that I want us to have a good understanding of, and I think you're pretty much already in a good spot with this, but just to make sure, is the transposing, is basically just understanding a key and numbers. And so quick review of that is just scale 1 through 7, 8 for the octave. Each of those numbers relates to a chord. So like the 1 in C would be C, the 4 in C would be F, and the 5 in C would be G, the 6 in C would be A, E is the 3, D is the 2, and 7 would be a B. And all of that relates, and all of that turns into which is a major, which is a minor. 1 major, 2 minor, 3 minor, 4 major, 5 major, 6 minor, 7 diminished, 8 is a repeat of the 1, so a major. And that turns into a lot of other cool things as you get more advanced and understand songs differently. Like, I was just watching a guy explain what the blues is the other day, and it was so simply put, whereas like, here's the blues all together. And the way you would number that is 1, 1, 1, 1. Random octave up of the 1, 1, and then you end up going 5, 4, and then back to the 1. And a lot of times you'll hear that 5, 5, flat 5, 1, or 4, and then back to the 1. And so that chromatic sliding between 5 and 4, and maybe between 4 and 1. So that's just an example of how the numbers really open up the cool stuff as you get on in guitar. It allows you to have a lot easier of a time learning songs because you see things in a pattern instead of as a random assortment of chords and notes. And that's what a lot of what I try to teach is about, is just let's find the patterns, because that makes things 10 times easier to understand and to learn. That's what a lot of even what I try to learn now is about, is just, okay, let's learn, it's just learning patterns that are at my level, of, okay, what are some of the more nuanced, hidden, less understood, maybe more complex patterns, but it's really all the same stuff. So that's thing number 3. And those are the 3 main things I want us to come back on the 14th and have down is the major scale and playing through that as a warm-up, Blackbird, our song, and then that concept of just, okay, these are the numbers, these are the chords that relate to them. If we're at a point on the 14th where you don't fully understand any of these topics, come with questions, specific questions. That's your homework. Your homework is just practice these things and then have specific questions about them so that we can attack those questions and we can try and address them and get you a better understanding of them. If you don't have answers to things, that's totally fine. Having questions even shows that you've put some thought into it, put some energy into it, and you're actually then closer to answering it than if you just come looking for the answer. And that's a tough thing to learn. I struggle with that a lot. Trying to actually ask thoughtful questions instead of just going straight for whatever answer might be quick and easy. The new fun thing that we're going to tackle. So I still want to give you something new, something to little like taste, something to sample that we'll add to later, is a new scale. And this scale has to do with what I just referenced with the blues. It is first... Yeah, let's start there. It's a pentatonic scale. Penta, if you know, pentagram, not the satanic one, but the actual shape in geometry. Either one, really. But yeah, a pentagon. Sorry, pentagon, not a pentagram. Pentagon. Pentagram is the satanic one. Pentagon is the actual shape. A pentagon is a 5-sided shape. A pentatonic scale is a 5-note scale. And you hear it a lot in Asian music, especially if I were to start in the key of B flat. So let's see. That's Mulan. You'll bring honor to us, you'll bring honor to us, you'll bring honor to us all. That's a major pentatonic scale. We're going to start with the minor pentatonic scale. That's typically an easier one for guitarists, and it flows into the blues scale. So the pentatonic scale sounds like this if we start in A. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, octave, octave 5, 4, or octave 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So that's the pentatonic scale. And then listen to how similar the blues scale is. It's a change in one note, or an addition of one note. So it's just that little chromatic note you add in there. So pentatonic, blues. Again, simple scale, has a lot of meat and like learning stuff underneath it when you dig deep, but at the basic level it just opens the door for stuff like that. For instance, I could use the major scale or I could use the blues scale on top of amongst other scales to solo over a section. So if you're playing me like the blues thing, the E and then to the B and then to the A, I can do something like I wish I had a looper pedal. That'd be a good investment. But I can do something like if I go into E pentatonic first. And then it goes over to the B, so I can do... Oh, sorry. And then it goes over to the A. And then it goes back to the E. And that was it. All I did was use the blues scale, same exact shape, starting with the root note of each chord. So if the guy was playing E and then B and then A and then E, and it'd be as if I just took that first note and started the scale from there. So you can hear how solos can be built just from that. Kind of like I've shown you the major scale before, how you can start building melodies from that. So that's the new thing. Expose yourself to that or work with that just as much as you want to. Don't overdo it. Really steep yourself in the fundamentals. If you learn the blues scale, awesome. The pentatonic scale. I was doing the blues there, but if you learn the pentatonic scale, awesome. I just realized I didn't show it to you in detail, so now I'm going to backtrack and do that. So here's the basic shape of the pentatonic scale. So if you recall, again, the major scale is 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 3, 4. So starting from that same root note, which we're going to make D, 5th fret on the 5th string, and doing our box method again, so 4 frets, 4 fingers. Now we're going to do this. 1, 4, 1, 3, 1, 3. That's it. Way easier. 1, 4, 1, 3, 1, 3. 3, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1. And that's it. That's your pentatonic. Again, watch me play the Mulan song here and see how I only use those notes. Make sense? Okay, that's all I want to load you with this week. 1, because the video's already at like 17 minutes and I'm trying to keep it around that time frame. 2, because I think that's enough stuff for you to work for the hour based on the lesson we had last time. You can spend an exuberant amount of time working on just doing the major scale properly, working on alternate picking with each note. Down, up, stuff like that. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And then working on Blackbird, making sure you have that song down, and then working on just understanding the number system and the keys and everything. And then, if you want and have time, learning the pentatonic scale. The minor pentatonic scale, technically, but yeah, just pentatonic scale. All right, Hunter, you have a good week. I will see you on the 14th. We are off for the 7th, so no video, no lesson at all, and we are all good. I'll see you then. Good luck, good practicing, and all that jazz. Happy Easter as well. Bye.